Jai Om Srila Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaja Ki Jai, Om Srila Srila Bhakti Rakshak Dev Goswami Maharaja Ki Jai, Om Srila Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Bhagavan Thakur Ki Jai, Shri Rupanuga Kuruvarga Ki Jai, Jai Srila Bhakti Nirmalacharya Maharaja Ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaja Ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Kushum Ashram Maharaja Ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Sri Goswami Maharaja Ki Jai, Jai Srila Trivikram Maharaja Ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Dear devotees, today we glorify Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaja because today is his Vyasa-puja, and we celebrate his Vyasa-puja all over the world, in all the centers of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, and of course, some of the senior group members, they know very well Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaja's life story and his glorious service to Srila Prabhupada, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, Srila Govinda Maharaj specifically. And I'd like to say to some new devotees who newly joined the mission a few words about his divine glories, and of course some of the senior devotees will also appreciate those words. I hope with my very limited English ability to express our deep appreciation to Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaja, who's one of the most senior members of our mission today. And I'd like to start a few words, from the picture where you see Srila Acharya Maharaj, Srila Janardan Maharaj, Srila Ashram Maharaj, Trivikram Maharaj, and myself in the back. And give you some of my insight, feeling why we select this picture, why it's appropriate. I'd like to say a few words about Srila Janardan Maharaj's deep relationship with Srila Govinda Maharaj, and I'd like somebody to show pictures where Srila Janardan Maharaj with Srila Govinda Maharaj together. And as all of you know, when Srila Govinda Maharaj became an acharya of his mission was to go 24 times all over the world and spread glories of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, specifically teachings of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, who's the deepest Krishna conscious philosopher, theologist, and incredible Vaishnava Acharya, by whose grace we know deep meaning of Mahaprabhu descent as internal concept of Krishna consciousness, which is been carrying the hearts of great Vaishnava Acharyas. So Srila Govinda Maharaj, can you show pictures of Sridhar Maharaj? Yes. Srila Govinda Maharaj has been traveling all over the world and establishing this conception, and missions all over the world. And some of them took deep roots, and some of them did not took deep roots. But Srila Govinda Maharaj's idea was like, I go personally all over the world and I establish the dignity of Guru Maharaj. And of course, who will help me in this work is qualified Prabhupada disciples, who also have deep appreciations for Srila Sridhar Maharaj and for myself. And when he say that, he specifically mean Srila Janardan Maharaj, Goswami Maharaj, and Ashram Maharaj. They're the three personalities who really were not Srila Govinda Maharaj's disciples. That's very important for people to understand, because some people mislead, who's that next Acharya, who's next successor? Like, I will tell you the truth, and the reason I'll tell you the truth, because before Srila Govinda Maharaj passed away, we had many private conversations with him, and he specifically referred to his friends, such as Ashram Maharaj, Janardan Maharaj, as Goswami Maharaj. He said they already were gurus, but for my purpose, they stopped this position of being guru and initiate disciples, and they joined me. And I want them to continue to be as gurus and acharyas. So that really showing that Srila Govinda Maharaj not just felt, I have some good helpers, good devotees. He had deep respect to those senior sannyasis, Prabhupada disciples, and he valued them so much. So there were many cases when Srila Govinda Maharaj gave them very important guru service, and actually it's very difficult for somebody who does not know Srila Govinda Maharaj's personal relationship with them to explain it and to reveal it. It's just more than formal. It's very informal. especially Janardan Maharaj, whose Vyasa-puja birthday we celebrate today. And Srila Govinda Maharaj loved him as personal friend, and he always joked with him and had personal interaction with him. He was fully aware of Srila Janardan Maharaj's character, and their relationship was very deep. It was way beyond formal, and of course Srila Govinda Maharaj was very happy that Srila Janardan Maharaj accompanied him on many world tours, specifically going to Russia or South America, for several reasons. First of all, Srila Govinda Maharaj can't really glorify himself, but as you can understand, he came as ambassador of the highest conception of Krishna consciousness, which is represented in Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. So normally ambassador does not represent himself, hey, I'm ambassador. It's got to be somebody respected who say, yes, this is a great ambassador of Krishna consciousness. So such devotees were Janardan Maharaj, Ashram Maharaj, and Goswami Maharaj specifically. And of course, Janardan Maharaj did the preaching of glories of Srila Govinda Maharaj and Srila Janardan Maharaj with big love, without any expectation, being guru, being acharya, etc. However, as I've said before, Srila Govinda Maharaj always see him this way. And he numerous times said, after I go from this world, my senior representatives will continue their spiritual work. What he really means is these are the great devotees that give their life to Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, myself, and as I'm going from this world, I want to see them continue preaching and doing the guru work and acharya work in their countries. So some people say, well, it's not very clear in Srila Govinda Maharaj's will, but actually it is very clear for those who understand the will itself and the will of Gurudev. But obviously we know that Govinda Maharaj's will specifically was for organization named Chaitanya Saraswat Mat India. And obviously Navadvip is a world headquarters, therefore we're respecting Srila Acharya Maharaj as a world leader, but Srila Govinda Maharaj had very clear understanding of Latin American mission, the Mexican mission, the US mission, the Russian mission, Brazilian mission, etc. So he wanted to plant seeds on spots. He wanted to plant Krishna conscious seeds in original languages, whether it's English or Spanish or Russian or Portuguese, and he wanted to raise local devotees. That was his idea. He told us numerous times he wants roots in Russia, he wants Krishna consciousness roots in America, and for that he needs to establish local leaders, local teachers who speak similar language, know the way to deal with Western devotees, and know how to preach Krishna consciousness in their environments. So as we can understand, Srila Janardan Maharaj has done it more than once. I mean, he's been travel extensively in South America with Govinda Maharaj, without Govinda Maharaj. He helped with his preaching in Mexico. He does support and maintain SoCal Ashram for so many years with large devotional community, we can say oldest devotional community of Chaitanya Saraswat Mat outside of India, and nowadays we can say it's a high concentration of Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, Govinda Maharaj, disciples, followers, and friends in SoCal with their children and their descendants. So, speaking about Srila Janardan Maharaj's history, I'd like you to come up with a photo with Prabhupada. And that's a photo we picked. Like you see young Janardan Maharaj with Prabhupada. He started his spiritual journey in his 20s. And he had unique character, and unique relationship with Prabhupada. He went to Europe, Copenhagen, and then finally in India, he took sannyas. And that was in his 20s, so he's a very early bird, we can say, because, a lot of those 20-year-olds sannyasis are vanished and, they could not maintain sannyas. But Srila Janardan Maharaj has been doing this for a very long time. So he's now in his 70s, I would assume it's like 40 and over years of spiritual life, maybe 50 years of spiritual life. That's not a small time to be active member of Krishna conscious community. And in all his years, it was not just hey, I've been initiated 50 years. It's always service to Prabhupada, service to Guru Maharaj, service to Govinda Maharaj specifically, and service as a service to devotees and the mission. And it was interesting. Janardan shared with me some stories when he went to see Prabhupada before he passed away. Prabhupada told him, oh, thank you very much. By your grace, I've got entrance to Tirupati. And I said, how come? And he told an incredible story how Prabhupada wants to go to Tirupati, and he sent Janardan Maharaj to negotiate. And finally, Janardan Maharaj met the Taoist temple committee and told them Prabhupada's coming, and they want to put him in some guru cottage. But he said, no, I don't want Prabhupada to be in that cottage. I want him to be in the other cottage, which is, they said, well, it's Prime Minister cottage. He said, well, Prabhupada is like Prime Minister of devotional world. And finally, after discussion with government, the Tirupati Management Temple agreed that Prabhupada will stay in the Prime Minister cottage. But Janardan Maharaj said, not only that he's a Prime Minister of spiritual world, he also be coming with a couple hundred Western devotees here. And that was a big shock, but finally they say, yeah, well, just Sanatan Dharma, Jaiva Dharma, Krishna consciousness for all souls, who really revere him as an Indian saint who opened Krishna consciousness to the Western world. Yes, we allow him to be there with Western devotees, and we'll have a special way to entering temple in and out. For those who've never been in Tirupati temple, they should know sometimes a line is several thousand people a day. It could be like 50,000 people or 30,000 people during holidays. So it's a very long time to get to the temple and to receive darshan for slightly a second. But there's a special passage, special presidential way, king way, where they take VIPs, and Prabhupada, as he stayed in Tirupati, were able to visit the temple, get darshan of Balaji, and bring his disciples. That was a very historical moment, actually, and Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan was involved in that project. So there's many other projects that I don't personally know, but I know he's been sent to Chile, South America, almost got shot, prosecuted there as American spy, went to, numerous times, Mexico, Colombia, and obviously Venezuela. But I'm sure a lot of people know that, but I just want to mention those moments of his spiritual path, because it's not very easy to be a devotee. What to speak about be a spiritual master? Some people think, it's very easy to be a spiritual master. Everybody worship your feet and you're like giving talks. But actually it's not. Otherwise, why is not that many spiritual masters in the world? Specifically like Janardan Maharaj. And for those who know him very close, he's a character. He's got unique character. He's got unique passion. He's got unique way to deal things. He's got incredible sense of humor. So he's a very jolly, sweet, and chili sauce paper person. So he can show different way of his personality, which is devotee. Devotee is not a one-side coin. Devotee is multi-dimensional identity, as we know, because devotees are unique and special devotees are even more special. So Srila Janardan Maharaj not only been very close friend of Srila Govinda Maharaj, he's also have deep appreciation of Krishna Chaitanya conception, the conception that Srila Sridhar Maharaj gave to the world. And his deep appreciation of that conception is driving him to deliver very deep Krishna consciousness, Harikatha, which is not really been floating around since Prabhupada left. And we say it's not very ordinary. We know there are like few people can talk on these deep subjects, such as, Goswami Maharaj, Tyagi Maharaj, Ashram Maharaj. But Janardan Maharaj is like one of that rank who could fully appreciate, bring to his heart, process in his heart, and deliver back to people. So I had fortune to be with him on several preaching programs and experience this myself. And one other thing is we say, Janardan Maharaj, he is a humble Vaishnava. Some people may not see him this way. they say, well, he's a very standing person and he can speak very straight. But, he's speaking very straight about things that really inside his heart. So, but actually about himself, he's a very simple, very humble person. And that's a unique part of his character, that sometimes he's very direct, very straightforward with others. But when it comes about his own position, he would never expose himself as some kind of a unique guru, or he would be very humble. So he's been around some great Vaishnavas. He knows the way to be, but he also has those unique qualities of humility, tolerance, and again, every Vaishnava has his own way to show those qualities in his spiritual path. So today his anniversary, and I'd like to come back to original picture where he's with all the Vaishnava acharyas that present today, including myself. I really feel this is very important three persons such as Janardan Maharaj, Goswami Maharaj, and Ashram Maharaj, because they're our senior guards. As you know, myself, and especially Acharya Maharaj and Srila Trivikram Maharaj were appointed by Srila Govinda Maharaj as well as others. But as I've said, these three personalities are our guardians. They're from our Guru Varga because they connect with Prabhupada and they connect with Guru Maharaj. So, and they've been assisting Srila Govinda Maharaj. And what Srila Govinda Maharaj want them is they want them to raise us, his disciples, and right after Govinda Maharaj left, they still continue doing that. Of course, now we've got the young people, and we live in traditional Vaishnava, tradition. So we can't say, there's no more gurus. All gurus are passed away. No, as Guru Maharaj say, Guru is eternal. And what we feel is we're connecting people with Srila Govinda Maharaj. That's what, at least, what I feel and what others people feel. And that's what Govinda Maharaj want us to do. So, and of course, more than anybody, Srila Janardan Maharaj knows Srila Govinda Maharaj's will and way. So therefore, we're very fortunate, and it's a glorious service what he does, continue doing at SoCal Ashram, and we know that's very important ashram because it's one of the few really functioning ashrams outside of India. And we wish that he will continue rain his grace, he'll continue nourishing us, he will continue go to India. And by the way, we know that Srila Janardan Maharaj has been going to India for years and years and years to support Srila Govinda Maharaj Gaur Purnima, to present with devotees, to celebrate with devotees. And we also know that he started preaching in China, where he succeeded Yudhamanya Prabhu. And now we have Janardan Maharaj and Goswami Maharaj. They're like two gurus of China, preaching gurus of China. And it's very nice because they're preaching in different matter, different way, from different places. But we know that Srila Govinda Maharaj desire that China will be continue nourishing with Krishna consciousness. It's a very potential country. It's an own world, we can say. And those great experienced devotees doing that unique spiritual work opened up China. And of course, as I'm a chair of Russian mission, they went to Russia more than once, and Srila Janardan Maharaj participated in all important festivals with Srila Govinda Maharaj, the DT establishment, the festivals in Moscow, festivals in Petersburg. So, he put significant energy into inspiring Russian devotees. So he has a very close relationship with Vijay Raman, who's president of Petersburg Temple, very affectionate dealing with him. And I believe that he's one of the most valuable devotees living today. There are very few people like this in the world who connect with such a great Vaishnava, such as Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and Srila Govinda Maharaj, and himself able to deliver original, unique content. So for those who may not subscribe to his Charitamrita morning class, that's what he does for extensive years, every morning reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's incredible the way he does it, because he does very simply, sincere, with simple explanations, but very deep content. So I hope you will appreciate that. And I hope also you will participate in celebration of his Vyasa-puja with sincere heart, because that's what Srila Govinda Maharaj wants. And I know that most of you who's watching this video, they will share this great bliss that we have today. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaja.